What up, son? It's Hansol here, and today I'm bringing you the video you've all been waiting for. It is time for the Macros Guide! Alright, so you guys have been requesting this video a lot, and I know I promised you guys that I'd make this video like 2 weeks ago once that video, my PvP movie, hit 500 likes. Right now it's sitting around like 600 likes, and you know, I feel that it's time to make this finally. So yeah, let's get started. To open up your macros tab, you press escape and click macros right here, the last third last, and then you see a macros menu. Another alternative way to open this is go onto your chat bar and do /m/n, and that also opens your macros. That's the easier way to do it, and that's the way I like to do it. So once you open it, you see two different tabs. One says general macros and one says Hansol specific macros for me, because that's my character's name, and for you it'll obviously say your name there. So general macros is like all your macros put together on all over your account. So even if you go on different characters, these macros will stay there. And if you go to your name specific macros, these are macros that are specific to your character and your tune. So if you say you went on one of your alts and you were checking out macros, you would click specific macros and it wouldn't show macros from your main. It would show no macros or specific macros from that one character. So since we got that done, let me show you how to make a macro. So when you look at the bottom, you click new, and another tab opens right here. This is where you enter the name of the macro. So for example, if we were making a macro for Dragon's Breath, type in Dragon's Breath. But another way I like to do it is, instead of typing the whole name like that, I like to actually just use abbreviations. So for Dragon's Breath, instead of writing the whole thing, for me, I would type in DB. This makes it a lot more simpler in my opinion. So there we go, we got that macro right there, it's flashing up. And as you can see, it is a question mark sign. So what you want to do to make that question mark into the Dragon's Breath icon is do a hashtag, which is shift3, and then type in show tooltip, and then the spell name. So as you can see, show tooltip Dragon's Breath. And for this to make changes, just press escape /m on the chat bar again, and there we go, Dragon's Breath icon. Simple as that. For any spell, you can you want to start off with the show tooltip icon. You can also there's icons all over the side where you can choose from, but if you want to make it specific to that spell, then go ahead and write the name after show tooltip. And as you can see, it works for any other spell like Mage Ward and Blast Wave, and yeah, it just works for anything. So just keep that in mind. It even works for like trinkets and items. As long as they have an icon, it works perfectly. So let's change it back to Dragon's Breath. So after you've typed in Dragon's Breath, the next step is press enter to go to the next tier and type in /stopcasting. So what this does basically is, whenever you're casting like Scorch on a target, I've heard problems with people having troubles with fake casting with Scorch, because you know how as a Frost Mage or Elemental Shaman, Boomkin, or any other regular caster, when you cast like a spell, you can move or strafe or jump to stop that cancel the cast, right? But for Scorch, it's really different because you can cast it while moving. So if you're moving around, it still won't interrupt it. So doing a /stop casting is a good way to, when you press Dragon's Breath, it will actually just stop casting it, and then at the same time use Dragon's Breath at the same time in conjunction. So pretty much while you're casting and you feel the need to just disorient the target with DB, or you know, just stop casting because you feel like you're gonna get interrupted, all you have to do is press this and it will simply just stop casting. Simple as that. So after that, press enter to go to the third tier and type in /cast Dragon's Breath. So overall, what this does is stops casting and casts Dragon's Breath with one button instead of having to press escape. So let's test this out. I'm going to start evocating, and without moving and canceling evocation, I'm going to just press Dragon's Breath and it will cancel it alone. Pressing Dragon's Breath, and that just cancels it. My bad, I had a different Dragon's Breath on my action bar, and all that did was stop casting it. So But anyways, you get the idea, right? You get the idea that whenever you press it, it will do two things. So the general idea is you want to use this for every other spell, like Chrono Cold, Frost Nova, especially Counterspell, so you can interrupt them, Blink and Iceblock and all that stuff. It just comes in handy. Like, it's just really useful for anything. So yeah, so the next macro I'm gonna go over is Iceblock. I named it IB, and what you want to do is show tooltip Iceblock, stop casting as usual, and then one here is the next third one is not cast Iceblock, but it's actually /cancelaura Iceblock. So what this does is, say you press Iceblock once, and then if you press it again, it will actually take you out of Iceblock. So for an example, if I cauterized and I really needed to Iceblock, all you would do is just Iceblock to get rid of the cauterized debuff. That's all you want to Iceblock off. Just, you don't want to Iceblock because you're stunned or anything, because you can blink. The main idea for this macro is to go into Iceblock and come out immediately, or whenever you want, without having to go all the way to your top right side and right click the buff off. So this does two things in one button. So for the fourth tier, I haven't really seen people do this, but I do /use Healthstone. So if you have a Warlock in your battleground or party or whatever it is, and you have a Healthstone, it will actually Ice Block you and save you because it uses your Healthstone at the same time. So it's really awesome. So it's, instead of two things, this macro does three things. And then at the end, you add /cast Ice Block. The last thing you want it to be is cast Ice Block. So I'll make sure to put these macros in the description below, so you can just copy and paste it, so I can give you an easier time with doing this instead of having to like have two screens open and write everything perfectly. So yeah, just giving you an easier time. Another one is focus macros. A lot of people don't really understand this because you're noob. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't even know what focus macros were until this season, because I just started arenaing seriously this season. But yeah, for focus macros, what you do is pretty much you can set another member from the enemy's team to your focus target. So basically you'll have two enemies targeted. It's kind of like that. It's kind of weird to explain, but you basically can keep an eye on two people at the same time. So what you want to do first to do this is, let me find the macro to set focus. Here it is. This is the macro. It's /focus space Mouseover. So what this does is, whatever you're targeting with your mouse, all you have to do is click this macro and it'll set the target to your focus. So what I have this binded to is shift middle click mouse button. So anything that I have moused over and I click this macro, it will become my focus target. So this is good because you can have them on your focus target and then you can focus counterspell them. So if it's a healer, for instance, you can watch when they're healing and then interrupt their heal without having to target them manually. So it's just a tool that WoW implemented into the game, so you can keep an eye on two different things, like I said earlier. So I'll give you a macro right here. It's show tooltip, counterspell, stop casting, and then cast, and then put in brackets target equals focus, and then counterspell. So instead of casting counterspell on the main target, it actually targets the focus and counterspells that target instead. So basically you want to have that stop casting focus counterspell and just stop casting normal counterspell for the normal target and the focus target. I use this for polymorph and impact stuns and just anything you feel would be useful that is single target. So that's really good if you want to get 2.2k in our RBG in arenas. This will just give you this will give you such an easy time. Like 2.2k will be easy mode with these macros. It's just gonna be a lot more simpler, and you don't have to worry about switching targets and seeing if he's casting and come back to your target. It's just one of those things that you really should have to do arenas. So those are pretty much all my macro. Oh wait, there's one more that people have been asking me. They've been saying, like, what's that add-on where it says bursting, like in your party chat or raid chat? Some people have mistaken it. It's not actually an add-on. It's a macro that I make. I haven't seen anyone do this thing either, but it's just a thing, so I let my party members know, like visually know when I'm bursting, instead of having to be vocal on Vent or Skype, mostly Skype. But what this is show tooltip Combustion, which is your main damage dealing ability every 2 minutes. and then space / use Cataclysmic Gladiator's Badge of Dominance. So it uses my DPS on use trinket, and then space / cast Combustion. So pretty much it pops your spell power trinket in conjunction with your Combustion. So and then I add /P for party bursting, and then /RA for raid bursting with the exclamation mark. So yeah, it just pops my spell power trinket and combustions in one button. But keep in mind that using spell power trinket before combustion will not actually make your combustion do more damage. Combustion relies on how much dots you have and how strong your dots are. So for example, ignite does more damage if you crit more, right? The more you crit, the more higher the number is, the more damage your ignite will do. So if you actually kind of think about it, you want to have more spell power when you're getting the crits. So for example, I'll pop my spell power trinket just before I do a shatter combo, then get my procs and freeze him again, then throw in that pyroblast crit with more spell power, then I pop living bomb, then combustion. So it's always good to have your DPS trinket bind it to another spell. Like for example, for me, I have combustion as shift Q, and then my DPS trinket as shift D, so I can use them like differently. But sometimes there's a thing where WoW also implemented is if you crit twice in a row, that your DPS trinket actually goes on cooldown for about 8 seconds, so you can't use it, but you need the combustion, right? So basically I have it so like I can't pop DPS trinket then throw my pyroblast. So by the time my pyroblast hits the target, it might be up. So it just uses the both spells at once. So I mean, it's just one thing I use. I mean, you don't have to use it, but it's something that I like to use, and a lot of you guys have been asking. So there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much all my macros. Focus, stop casting, and combustion. It's pretty simple. I mean, you could have found this on the internet, on Google and shit like that. So I mean, I don't know if this video was worth the wait for you guys, but yeah, those are my macros, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and have learned something. Keep in mind, this was a beginner's guide, so I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but there are some people that don't know it. So this is just a video for the beginners and the people that don't know how to set up macros. So yeah, if you liked the video, make sure to click the thumbs up button below and comment on what you've learned. Or if you didn't learn anything and you want to learn something, just ask in the comments as well. I don't answer 100% of the time on the comment section, so you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and I'll actually respond to your questions or your messages 100% of the time. So make sure you hit me up, and if you want to talk with me, you can talk to me over there. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. Peace out, son.